Hello and welcome to Aron's Update Episode 1. This is my first ever episode. Hopefully I'll be doing a lot more just to summarise some of my activities. So if you don't know me, in my spare time I rescue animals here in Bali. There's a lot of street animals here, but I also try and link it to veganism and the idea that all animals' lives are important and that we should, if we care about dogs and kittens, we should also care about cows and pigs and the animals on our farm. So anyway, let me get to it. I'm going to chat a little bit about what's been going on with some of my rescue animals. So there's been quite a few lately, really. The first one is little Oreo, who was this little puppy that I found in one of the markets that I do some street feeding. So her fur was all chunky and falling out. And she was infested with ticks and fleas, and she really wasn't doing very well, so I decided to take her into the vet, and lucky for me, a lovely lady named Harumi has been fostering her, and then another lovely lady has offered a home for Oreo, so she's been doing really well in her foster home. She's just had her second vaccination, she's been medicated, and she'll also get sterilised as well when she's old enough, before she goes to her new home. So I'm really happy with how Oreo's doing.
He's a funny girl. What a good girl. Hey, Oreo.
Moving on to one of the sad things that happened lately, I lost one of my street dogs, and her name was Mama. I've been street feeding quite a few dogs, and she was one of them. But I turned up one day to see Mama, she's actually the mother of another dog that I've been helping named Cookie, only to hear that Mama had passed away. The local shopkeeper told me that she was sick and had died. It was a bit confusing for me because I'd already medicated her for blood parasites, and she'd been doing really, really well. She got a lot better, she got a lot healthier, but sadly, This is what I've come to have to accept here in Bali, that I can't rescue every single dog that I want to, and if I'm helping them on the street, there's always a chance that they might not make it. So rest in peace to Mama. I know she knows that she was loved and that I tried my best. I just I wish, like all the dogs on the street here, she could have had a home. But it's sad. But moving on to other animals that we can be happy about is Kumis. I don't know who knows about Kumis. It means mustache in Indonesian. Kumis was dumped in the street outside my house, and he was under 1 kilogram. He's a breed cat, but I think somebody threw him away because he started developing a skin problem. So I took him in, and he's gone to the vet. He's been sterilised and everything. He's doing really well. He's such a little character. I really love him. I'm happy to say that Kumis has put a lot of weight on. His skin problem is completely gone. He's been vaccinated, and he'll be going to a new home in just over a month as well. So I'm really happy. Things are going pretty good in terms of Kumis. I did receive a call a couple of weeks ago from a guy named Bagong. Bagong is the guy who adopted Tilly. If you know Tilly, she's the star of the Dodo. I'll put a link to the Dodo video in this video, but he gave me a call and he said that he'd found this dog in the street that he thought had been thrown away, and the dog was really, really scared and skinny, and he asked me to help rescue the dog. So I said, look, if you can pick the dog up, I will meet you at the vet and we'll put the dog under my account. So I got a call about 20 minutes later from Bagong saying, oh no, the dog jumped off my scooter. He picked the dog up and tried to drive with the dog to the vet. The dog jumped off the scooter, so I was already at the vet. I had to get a net from the vet, and Bagong and I went back to the dog, who had been kind of cornered by a couple of villagers. And Bagong, he was so quick with the net. He managed to catch the dog, who we've called Lochong. We took the dog into the vet, and the poor creature, you could see in his eyes how scared and shocked he was. And I know catching a dog with a net isn't a good experience for the dog, but there's nothing we could have done to catch him otherwise. He was so scared of humans, and I think he was so scared because people had been hitting him. He'd obviously had an owner, he had a collar, but had been thrown away. Anyway, that was actually a couple of weeks ago. Since then, I've been to visit Lochong as many times as I can, and we're starting to develop a bit of a friendship, a bit of trust with each other. He's doing really well. His skin's starting to recover as well. He's already been sterilised, but he's okay. He's doing really well. We're developing a bit of trust, and I'm hoping to be able to get him a home when he's finished, but we shall see. The other dog in the vet is a dog who I really, really love. She's such a sweetheart. Her name is Blackie, and anybody who's been following Blackie's story, you'll know that she actually had cancer on her vagina, and it was this really huge tumour. I haven't showed any of the photos just because it was it was so gruesome. I didn't want to look at it, and I don't think many people would want to see it. But she had a very, very bad cancer tumour. Not only that, she had a broken leg. So the story behind this is that Blackie was thrown away into a ditch, and then a local lady named Yan found the dog, but she doesn't have like a massive salary. She can barely afford like daily life, so expecting her to be able to pay for treatment is a bit difficult. So Yan got in touch with me and asked if I could help Blackie. So she came in, and her leg had been broken for so long that she kind of got used to not using it, and the vet advised me that it's kind of dead weight really, and that while she can manage it now, it's not very good for her long-term prospects. She'll end up carrying a lot more weight now, so they suggested to amputate. So we amputated her leg, and I'm happy to say that it all went really well. Blackie's looking really good now, and I was worried, I was in two minds, but I really think it was the best thing for her. So she's doing really well. She's still in the vet recovering. The other problem Blackie had was the cancer that I just talked about, in that she's had 11 chemotherapies now. She's such a little trooper, this dog. When I first met her, she didn't know where she was scared, but now I can tell that she trusts me and she knows that I'm trying to help her. So she's doing really well. I'm so happy for Blackie. She'll be going back to Yan as soon as she's finished, and I'm hoping we can get rid of this cancer once and for all. The other dog that is really, they're all close to my heart, but Samosa is another dog that I've been trying to help lately, and it's been difficult. Anyone who lives in Bali or has been to Bali, you'll know how many dogs there are on the street, and you'll probably know how difficult it is to get a dog adopted or fostered. So Samosa I picked up in the same market as Oreo, actually, and a few other animals I've rescued before, but I picked her up, I gave her some Bravecto. She had a skin problem, and then I took her to the vet just to get sterilised. It turns out she had a broken hip, so she ended up needing a massive surgery. I couldn't put her back where I found her, so she'd been staying at a dog hotel for the last couple of months, and then my friends Act for Bali Dogs have kindly taken Samosa now. They're going to be taking Samosa to her to their adoption days, and hopefully she'll get adopted. So Samosa's chilling at Act for Bali Dogs at the moment. Please check them out. They're really cool people. The last sort of big update I've got is a little baby kitten. So I was traveling home one night, and I stopped at the market with my box of food, and I heard like a noise, and I stopped and I saw this little ginger blob on the floor, and it was a little baby kitten. He couldn't have been more than 10-14 days old. I got close to him and I saw that his eyes, it looked like he didn't have any eyes, so I was a bit worried. And then I was kind of stuck in two minds. What do I do with this baby kitten? If I take him, I'd have to bottle feed him, but I didn't have any of the bottle feeding equipment. And this was like 10:30 at night. So I kind of hung around for a couple of hours waiting to see if a mama cat would turn up, because anyone who rescues kittens will know that the best chance of survival kittens have is if they have a mum to suckle on. There's no real substitutes for mother's milk, especially with these baby animals. So I was really hoping that the mum would come, and at one point a mum turned up and then she kind of ran away. So I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to take this kitten in. But my problem was I didn't have any formula or anything like that. So I called my friends at Villa Kitty. Please check them out as well. They're so cool. And I drove up. I put the kitten in the pocket of my jacket, and I drove back up to Ubud, which is because it turns out he didn't have a mum, and without a mum to clean him, the eyes go gunky and they don't last very long. But lucky for me, Villa Kitty, late at night on a Thursday night, said, hey, we'll give you all that you need to take care of this cat. So I was able to get this really cool little pack with a hot water bottle, a little Blackie, and then some formula and some weaning stuff. And I took the cat back to mine and I gave him bottle feeding for a couple of nights. In between that time, I was messaging frantically everybody I knew to try and find a mama cat. As lovely as it is to wake up every 2 hours bottle feeding a kitten, the other thing is they might not really survive. It's not the best survival rate with bottle feeding. So I was asking around for a mama cat, and then finally a lady named Aubrey said that she had a mama cat who'd been staying at her place who had babies about the same size. So I go over on Friday night and we introduce the kitten to the mum, Chaya, and it was a nightmare. The mum wasn't interested, she didn't go near her other kittens. So suddenly I was worrying, oh my god, now I've not only has this kitten not got a mum, now the mum might be scared away from her existing kittens. So it was pretty stressful. So I took the kitten back, another night of bottle feeding, and then I went back the next day with a different tactic. So thankfully people who have been following on Instagram gave some really good advice, like rubbing him with the other kittens so that he smelled the same. And the other thing that we did was I didn't actually go in on the second time, so it didn't freak the mum out. I just passed Chaya to Aubrey, and Aubrey, who the mum knows and trusts, then put the kitten in with the other kittens. And I'm really delighted to say that now he's suckling and he has the best chance of survival. I've got some good friends who are going to hopefully foster him, providing he gets through this stage, and I really hope he does. And yeah, I've got my fingers crossed. It's all been a bit frantic, as you can probably tell. There's been a lot of animals and I'm stretched a bit thin really, but I want to give a really big thank you to everybody who's been supporting me. If you've bought from my shop, you can take a look at my shop. I'm sorry, EU customers, I'm unable to send to the EU after Brexit, sadly. If you'd like to purchase from the shop, that would be fantastic. If not, I would appreciate any patrons. It will help me to continue doing all the rescues I'm doing, pay the bills. I'd like to be able to give a little something to all the people that are supporting me, like Villa Kitty, Act for Bali Dogs, who are helping me with these rescues. I just can't do it on my own. So that's part of what I do with the rescue money. It also helps me to pay for food and street feeding and street medication for other animals that I come across. So thank you very much if you've supported my Patreon. The final thing that I'm hoping to do is a few more videos like this. I'll try and do episode 2, 3, 4 as soon as I can when I've got some decent updates, but I'll also be doing other videos a bit about my experience going vegan and how it's changed my life, but how it's also something that everybody could do. I'm going to be doing a few more videos about vegan activism and hopefully convincing a few more people surrounding the reasons about veganism, and especially linking it to the animals that I rescue, because after all, when you look at this baby kitten that I rescue and you look at a baby calf on a farm, they don't really know they're a baby kitten or a baby calf. They're just being born into the world as confused babies, and I don't think either the calf or kitten really deserve to die. Yet in the dairy industry, if you take a look at it, especially male calves, they don't survive very long. And I know that most compassionate, kind people wouldn't want that. So I'll be doing a lot more videos to try and get that point across. Hopefully it has an impact on people. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed episode 1. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, I'll do a few more episodes coming soon. Thank you.